Tonight on NewsVision, we'll take you live to the Shalala Student Center where one Tony Award-winning actor will speak to students as part of the What Matters to You series. Plus, we will bring you the latest on President Biden's plan to erase student debt.
Even if they get by, they still have this crushing debt.
And later on, we will show you how one organization in Miami is changing lives through surfing.
We're overstaffed intentionally because safety is first.
These stories and a whole lot more on the program tonight. NewsVision starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of NewsVision. I'm Ben Freeman.
And I'm Gracie Palmer. Thank you for joining us. We start with breaking news. Former USC and Buffalo Bills running back O.J. Simpson has died after a long battle with cancer. Simpson played 11 seasons in the NFL, becoming the first running back to eclipse 2,000 rushing yards in a season in 1973. However, Simpson is most known for being accused of murdering his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman in June of 1994. In what was called the trial of the century, Simpson was infamously acquitted of these crimes in a trial that was seen by more than 100 million Americans. No further arrests were made, but Simpson did lose a civil trial and was ordered to pay more than $30 million to the families of the victims. O.J. Simpson was 76 years old.
Back here on campus, one organization at the University of Miami has hosted an event that raises both money and spirits. Billy Brightman has more.
A bell rings in the center of the University of Miami campus. But instead of chiming on the hour or letting students out of class, this bell represents the sound of victory. It signaled the beginning of a carnival with games, crafts, and snacks for all to enjoy.
But this carnival isn't just fun and games. It's raising money for a good cause.
The carnival was part of the annual Relay for Life initiative that partners with the American Cancer Society to help raise money to cure cancer.
2.5 years ago, I lost my mom to cancer, and that was a huge part of my life. So in honor of her specifically, that is why I'm here today.
In 2024, the American Cancer Society predicts 2 million people will be diagnosed with cancer. It also predicts over 600,000 people will die from the disease. That is almost 1,700 per day. Fighting the disease is extremely challenging, even with a strong network of support.
You find a team that you can trust and you can depend on, and also your family. I have great family support. You know, my husband was there all along. I do have 2 daughters. So that was hard. They were young.
That is why Relay for Life hosts fun events like their carnivals and luncheons. They can raise money for the specialists searching for a cure, but they can also raise support for those fighting their own battles.
And so this is really special to work with the students who they have the biggest hearts and they've been fundraising and they really want to make this a special event to honor their UM community.
So next time a bell rings because of Relay for Life, they hope it will be to announce another battle won. Billy Brightman, UMTV.
The School of Law hosted a criminal justice forum yesterday as part of Reform Alliance's Gen Z Day of Action. The discussion covered topics of the criminal justice system, such as probation and parole. Tanyan Jenkins, who is the Reform Alliance Florida State organizer, talked to students about her personal experience with years of probation violations. She said the creation of the Safe Supervision Act would help alleviate the issues people face as they leave incarceration and re-enter society.
This weekend marks the 16th year of Miami Beach's Pride. Miami Beach Pride is a massive celebration and a staple of the LGBTQ community down here in Miami every year. And this year, there is a lot planned. The festival is split between the Love Spirit Entertainment Stage, the Healthy MD Dance Stage, and the Capital One Cafe Community Stage, with headliners including Farina, DJ Alexis Tucci, Billy Porter, Jojo Siwa, and others. The festivities start at noon on Saturday, with the Pride Parade starting at noon on Sunday. There'll be events all weekend if you want to go down to Miami Beach and show your pride.
The LGBTQ Student Center at UM hosted its Love Symposium over the weekend at the Shalala Student Center, and I got the chance to check it out. In honor of Collegiate Pride Month, the LGBTQ Student Center at the University of Miami hosted its annual Love Symposium on Saturday to celebrate the LGBTQ community and their allies at the U. The acronym LOVE stands for Leadership, Opportunity, Volunteerism, and Empowerment, and all of which were definitely felt among participants.
The whole purpose of this is really to provide an opportunity for students to come together who are part of the LGBTQ community and our allies, and to learn about what are some of the issues and concerns that are going on out there. Also to have some fun and to celebrate love.
However, this year's event was different than before because it was entirely student-led. The symposium, which was originally called the Emerging LGBTQ Student Leaders Symposium, was centered around spreading love this year. The event included workshops, activities, and presentations, all geared towards connecting the LGBTQ community.
It's just spending time with students, because sometimes in student affairs, student life, we're in our offices so much getting ready for events like these. So it's nice to actually spend time with y'all.
Mainly, the event allowed members of the LGBTQ community on campus a chance to meet other students and create lasting connections.
Trying to find that community on this campus is sometimes hard. And seeing all the people come out today on a Saturday morning, finals week is starting to happen, but we're all together and we're all trying to learn and be together.
And the festivities do not end there. For the rest of April, the LGBTQ Center will host more events, including a queer prom and a chance to walk with Coca-Cola in the Pride Parade.
Oh my gosh, I know that our subcommittee is our committee is over the moon. We never anticipated these numbers. We were shooting for 50. We have far surpassed that.
The event staff stressed that some colleges do not have LGBTQ student centers, and they want UM students to feel like they truly have a place.
And at the Shalala Center tonight, there's another popular event hosted by the UM student government that explores what matters to you through a series of well-known speakers on campus. Lead reporter Billy Brightman is live at the Shalala Student Center where the event is taking place. Billy, who's tonight's guest?
Ben, tonight's speaker is Daveed Diggs, a Tony and Grammy award-winning actor, writer, producer, and musician. His most notable roles include Thomas Jefferson and Marquis de Lafayette in Hamilton, as well as Sebastian in the 2023 remake of The Little Mermaid. Tonight, he's here to talk with students as part of Student Government's What Matters to You series. Beginning in the school year of 2018 and 2019, the program is designed to bring in leaders and change makers from around the world to discuss and explore topics that matter to students with students. Tonight, with his vast experience in seemingly every area of entertainment, students can expect to learn about what it takes to make it in the industry, as well as how Diggs keeps up his positive spirit with so many projects on his plate. The event started at 6:30 behind me and is still going on, but if you can't make it, Student Government and What Matters to You post recaps of all of their talks on the University of Miami's Student Government website. Live outside the Shalala Ballroom, Billy Brightman, UMTV.
Thank you, Billy. We will take a short break now, but when NewsVision returns, we'll explore a major upset in Arizona from updates on the state's abortion legislation. Stay with us.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Punch down time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
A powerful movement is underway at the center of the U.S.-Mexico border region. Driven by women's creativity and resilience, it has caught University of Miami faculty and students' attention. Madison Mycan has details.
Than even themselves.
The University of Miami American Students Program presents the grand opening of the Emotional Embroidery exhibit. On Monday, the ceremony was held to welcome the display.
It's called Embroidering Hope, or Bordando Esperanza, and what we're exhibiting today is it's a sort of itinerant artistic show of the work of different women who have been detained along the U.S.-Mexican border.
Women's experiences while seeking asylum are displayed via artwork they created. Beyond mere exhibition, it serves as a motivation for these women, providing economic support and empowerment.
Well, our goal is obviously definitely to raise awareness about the situation, the gravity of the situation on the U.S.-Mexican border, but also to bring hope.
The event featured food from tacos and tattoos. Bypassers came to eat and enjoy the creations. Before the event, the organization Artisans Beyond Borders Embroidery supervisor Wendy Lopez held a roundtable to discuss the handmade heritage arts. Artisans Beyond Borders supports women on both sides of the border.
We're exploring these bordados in order to better understand the coping and the process that asylum seekers go through. And there's a lot about hope, love, faith.
While women seek asylum at the border, they are detained and encounter many horrors. Most are separated from their families and face the constant threat of abuse or exploitation. These art pieces become a support system. From documenting personal experiences to preserving cultural heritage, emotional embroidery serves as a tool for empowerment and social change.
That was reporter Madison Mikan. The Arizona Supreme Court has ruled that abortions will be banned in almost every circumstance in the state. The court ruled that all abortions will be outlawed unless the mother's life is at risk. This new ruling calls back to a 1864 law from the state's first legal code. Now, anyone who performs or assists in an abortion could be sentenced up to 5 years in prison.
This is going to criminalize doctors for doing their jobs, and it's going to have a devastating effect on the health and freedom of women in Arizona. It's going to put lives at risk.
Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to travel to Tucson tomorrow for her second trip to the state to promote reproductive freedom.
If you or someone you know has student loan debt, relief might be coming your way. The Biden administration is trying to erase some of what people owe. The White House says the new strategy would help more than 30 million borrowers. That's if implemented and combined with plans the administration has enacted already. The initiative targets federal borrowers who have unpaid interest beyond a certain threshold, 20 or more years in repayment, eligibility for loan programs in which they're not enrolled, education from a so-called low financial value program, and certain hardships like medical debt.
Too many people feel the strain and stress, wondering if they're can get married, have their first child, start a family, because even if they get by, they still have this crushing debt.
The main difference with this new plan is that it targets about 10 million fewer Americans. The plan will cancel up to $20,000 worth of interest for Americans who owe more money than they initially borrowed.
After a 4.8 magnitude earthquake rocked New Jersey and the surrounding states last Friday, residents are still feeling the effects. Aftershocks have been reported in the week following the earthquake. The largest of these aftershocks was 3.8 on the Richter scale, with the average magnitude being 1.8. Aftershocks are completely normal after an earthquake, and scientists predict these aftershocks will continue in the coming days, but they should also be small.
A total solar eclipse took over the United States on Monday as tens of millions of Americans got to experience the phenomenon. About 32 million Americans were in a path of complete totality as the moon passed between the Earth and the sun, and their world turned dark for about 3 to 4 minutes. The total eclipse happened in a strip ranging from Texas up through the Midwest and all the way up north. A total eclipse like this will not happen again in the United States until 2044.
Ben, honestly, I made my own solar eclipse glasses, and I do not recommend, but I did see it.
I mean, I tried the double sunglass approach, and I don't think I was supposed to have done that.
I definitely don't think you were supposed to have done that. We'll have to ask Quinn, but it's time to check in with Quinn Davidson on what the weather forecast looks like.
Quinn, what should we expect for this weekend?
This weekend is looking absolutely beautiful once again, and I will say the solar eclipse, I got the chance to have these really cool glasses and I got to see it was so awesome and it was such a good experience. We have a cold front coming through the area tonight. This is where we have our line of showers and storms touching down the Florida Peninsula. This is going to impact us in Miami as a few showers, very scattered post 8 p.m., nothing too serious. Just be sure to grab an umbrella if you're heading out tonight. And it was quite the toasty Thursday. I was sweating walking to class, wind blowing in my face. We were hit 90 degrees in Fort Lauderdale, upper 80s across the across most of South Florida. And with those winds, we have those gusty winds coming in from the south, but as that front does come through, we're going to see that wind shift to the north, and that's going to create much drier and more comfortable conditions for us here across South Florida. Not too windy and absolutely gorgeous, so it's definitely a great time to get to the beach. And our 7-day forecast, the only thing of note is that we have that low of 64 Friday morning when you wake up tomorrow, but everything else is looking absolutely picture perfect. And while most University of Miami students are heading to the beach, a special group is headed towards a national title. I got the chance to meet with them. UM junior Julia Barrist knew she wanted to be a part of the University of Miami's a cappella group called Biscaydance since she heard them years ago. Now she has played a vital role as the artistic director in the group's success.
Actually, in high school, I did an a cappella show, and in the audience, they were playing Biscaydance over the loudspeakers, and I remember hearing it and being like, wow, this group is really good. Somewhere and being like, I'm going to UM, like I have to be in this group. And then I auditioned and I got in.
Biscaydance was founded in 2011. The group's name was inspired by Miami's landmark, Biscayne Bay, as well as the musical term cadence. Members of the group rehearse 3 times a week for 2 hours at a time, and they have a lot of awards to attest to their talent and dedication.
Just watch first time.
Biscaydance just recently won the International Championship of Collegiate A Cappella semifinals and is now one of only 10 groups in the world advancing to the championships in New York City later this month.
It's a really weird feeling. Like when we won semis, found out we were going to finals, and then it all hit me because like I knew finals was April 27th. I was like, I graduate like 13 days after finals, which is crazy, but there's no way I would rather end my senior year than doing that. Like I've been dreaming about that for years.
And for Julia, this competition is a dream come true.
Biscaydance is truly a family. We all love each other so much, and the best part of my day is coming to Biscaydance rehearsal. I can't wait to see how we do at finals next month, and I can't wait even more for everyone to hear the wonderful set we've been working on all year.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Quinn Davidson.
Coming up, I'll introduce you to some kids who got to go to surf camp, but the community around them will make the memories last a lifetime. Stay with NewsVision.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Hello and welcome to sports. I'm Zach Macer. I'm really sad right now. We are now officially done with the NCAA college basketball season. The championships are in the books, and the 2 winners, men and women respectively, are UConn and South Carolina. Each champion won its respective game comfortably. UConn beat Purdue 75-60, while South Carolina beat Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes 87-75. Both of these teams had history on the line when they played in their championship games. UConn was the first team to win back-to-back national championships since 06-07's Florida, and South Carolina completed their perfect season after finishing with 38 wins and 0 losses. They're the 10th team ever to achieve the feat. Also, there were an unprecedented number of eyes on the matches. The men's national championship had almost 15 million people watching, while the women's had almost 19 million viewers. That makes it the most watched basketball game ever. Earlier today, U Sport hosted the 7th annual Global Sport Industry Conference at the Shalala Student Center. It brought professionals in the sports industry and students together. The conference hosted many speakers from the sports industry, from the NFL, the NBA, MLB, and some from the sports media sector, including ESPN, Fox Sports, and Meadowlark Media. The conference held various panels covering different topics of business, media, and even environmental initiatives in the sports world.
The goal for the students is, it kind of varies depending on maybe if you're, underclassmen, upperclassmen. I'd say for those underclassmen, it's really a chance for those to really get to, understand more about the sports industry. Maybe they have just started their intro classes, or maybe they aren't even a major themselves, but want to get to know more. And maybe for those upperclassmen, some insight is, they start progressing towards getting started in their careers post-graduation.
Students had the opportunity to ask questions and network with individuals in the sports industry, as well as listen to professionals tell their stories and give advice on career paths in sports. One basketball team north of Miami is giving hope and life to many, but this is no ordinary team. Angela Safone is taking us to the court where the game of life and basketball comes together.
23-year-old Ray Filbert seems to be perfectly at ease on the basketball court. But it took some efforts to convince him he belongs here.
I was outside playing on the outside court. Coach kept coming to me for a good 3 months. He would leave me alone. I decided, all right, go ahead, take it. I fell in love with it.
Ray is a member of the Sunrise Suns, a South Florida wheelchair basketball team. Coach Dana Wade and his wife Fran came up with the idea for the team in 2012.
I had a young patient who was newly injured, and he was going through a rough time, and one of the things he wanted to be able to do again was play basketball.
And so the Sunrise Suns was born, with the support of many, including the mayor of the city of Sunrise, Michael J. Ryan.
The mayor came out to watch one day and realized the gym wasn't actually equipped for handicapped people. We couldn't even get them into the doors. So he helped me by starting fundraising. Within, I would say, 6 months, we became an actual team.
Nowadays, the team practices at the Village Multipurpose Center in Sunrise, Florida, every Tuesday and Thursday for 2 hours. I'm here at the Sunrise Suns practice basketball court, where they've given me the unique opportunity to feel just what it's like to experience their game of basketball. And let me tell you, it is not easy. And although what they're doing is very impressive, what's more impressive is what this basketball team has done for each individual. 10 players are on the Sunrise Suns, and each one of them has been affected by this team. For Ray, he scored more than just the role of captain. He scored a second chance at life.
And at the time, I was on the verge of suicide. And once I started playing ball, I fell in love, and I do not want to do suicide no more.
For some players, the team has become a way to escape.
Mentally, if something's been on my mind, it's giving me that space to just relax and let the frustration out.
They push each other, laugh together, and of course, get a little competitive. But they are more than just winners on wheels. They are a family.
Gaining a community of people who just love on you and accept you for who you are.
And for that, each one of them is forever changed. With UMTV, I'm Angela Safone.
And just like the city of Sunrise, the city of Miami Beach also has various initiatives to help people who deal with disabilities live better and more fulfilling lives. Recently, I got to visit a surf camp that gave more than just lessons on surfing.
When the waves crash at South Point Park in Miami Beach, it is the perfect time for people to grab their surfboards and have some fun. But for some kids, it is a lot more than that.
It's a week-long program during spring break. We offer a full week of surfing, educational activities, and we teach the kids how to surf.
But these are not just ordinary kids. They all have autism. And with each wave, they are showing the feats that they could achieve every single day.
It's about acceptance, it's about love, and it's about knowing that they have so much to offer and, to be fully included in our society and community.
1 in 36 children are born with autism in the United States, and that number has grown positively for the last 20 years. It is necessary to provide these children with opportunities to make them feel like any other kid and let them have fun.
It takes the efforts of the entire Miami community to make it such a great neurodiverse place. For example, for the surf camp to get done, it took the Center for Autism and Related Disabilities, the City of Miami, as well as many student and adult volunteers to make the event a reality.
We have a lot of adults, a lot of lifeguards. You know, we're overstaffed intentionally because safety is first. We get a lot of donors, financial supporters, we get grants. You see all the people that are here. We couldn't fund this without the generous support of a lot of people.
Just seeing their smiles and, knowing that there's people that, they can trust and that love them for who they are and that focus in the things that they can really do.
It's the fun, the support, and the love that makes the Miami community a great one during Autism Acceptance Month and every day of the year. Zach Macer from Miami Beach, UMTV.
It's just amazing to see how much time and care is given to these experiences for these amazing children. I'm Zach Macer.
Thank you, Zach. And still ahead, we will tell you why you should hug your dog extra tight today. More when we return.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
When it comes to making art, there are many different methods that artists can use. But there's one man who uses a difficult technique to make pieces that are taking the glass community by storm. As Sony Carlton explains, he came to South Florida to teach others how it's done.
Michael Janis is a sculptural glass artist who makes fascinating pieces of art. However, before he became a glass artist, he stumbled upon the material during his career as an architect.
As an architect, I was intrigued by the qualities of glass architecturally, and as I looked into working with it for architectural projects, I fell in love with it, and then I actually said that at a certain point I want to dedicate my life to working as an artist using glass as a sculptural medium.
Michael specializes in a technique called sgraffito, where he takes small grains of glass that are broken down into a powder-like consistency. He then spreads the powdered glass into layers that create intricate designs. Even though he's considered an expert, he says that using glass to make art can still be tricky.
It can be a little bit fussy. I mean, you have to learn it as a craft. There are some qualities, the chemistry of it, the physics of it. You have to be at one with how it's going to be firing and what happens inside a kiln.
University of Miami senior lecturer of glass, Jenna Efren, worked with Michael during one of her classes to turn one of his artworks into a 3D structure.
Michael was a pleasure to work with because he understood the complexities of transferring a kiln-worked piece of glass into the hot shop, and he was incredibly flexible and a pleasure to work with in terms of the process and the outcome of what would happen.
One of the students from Jenna's class said watching her turn Michael's piece into something new was fascinating.
Besides the chaotic nature of it, it was super cool to see how well they kind of worked in tandem and how she can take something that she's not used to and something that he's not used to and kind of meld it together to be something pretty well off in the end.
Hundreds of people came to the Lowe Art Museum to hear Michael explain not only his technique, but his unique outlook on glass as an art medium, and he says there's one lesson he hopes everyone can take away from his art.
Glass can be something more than what it's always had been thought of before, that it's a craft medium. That this is actually something that is very expressive. It might be technologically difficult to work with, but it can be so compelling in the way that you can tell a story with it. You can be a narrative piece, and it's glass.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Sonny Carton.
And yesterday was National Pet Day, which is observed every year on April 10th. National Pet Day is dedicated to pets who may not be getting the attention and companionship they deserve. We're talking about orphan pets, whether their owners have passed away or are ill. So take a moment and look for a chance to help out an orphan pet this week. I mean, I absolutely love dogs, and I wish I could have pet mine.
I know, me too, but that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us on NewsVision.
We'll be back at the same time next week. Have a great night.